Do you ever find yourself trapped in a cycle of worry and anxiety about the future? It's a common feeling, one that stems from focusing too much on the past and future rather than living in the present. This constant worry can be draining, casting a shadow over your daily life. But what if there was a way to break free from this cycle? Enter Dale Carnegie, who offers practical advice on how to combat worry. Carnegie suggests that worry at its core is a result of overthinking the past and harboring anxiety about the future. He provides us with a roadmap to navigate through these worries, offering practical methods to eliminate worry from our lives. In this video, we will explore Carnegie's wisdom, breaking down his techniques and offering insights into how you can apply them to your own life. So, are you ready to start a journey towards a worry-free life? Let's dive into some fundamental facts that you should know about worry. Wouldn't it be great if we could eliminate 50% of our worries immediately? That's a tantalizing proposition, isn't it? And it's not just a lofty ideal, it's a practical approach advocated by none other than Dale Carnegie himself. Imagine the life of a typical business professional. Let's take John, for example. John is a diligent worker who spends countless hours worrying about his business. He worries about his team's performance, about deadlines, about market competition, about profits, and the list goes on. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Now, according to Carnegie, John can eliminate half of these worries immediately. But how? The answer is simpler than you might think. Carnegie suggests focusing on actionable problems. Instead of worrying about things that are out of his control, John should concentrate on issues that he can directly influence. For instance, John cannot control market competition. It's a factor that's out of his hands. But what he can control is the performance and efficiency of his own team. So instead of losing sleep over the competition, John should channel his energy into improving his team's productivity. Carnegie's advice is about shifting our focus from the uncontrollable to the controllable. It's about taking charge of our worries and turning them into constructive actions. The key is to differentiate between what is within our control and what is not. It's also about understanding that worry, in essence, is not inherently bad. It can serve as a warning sign, alerting us to potential problems that need our attention. But when worry becomes a chronic condition, when it keeps us awake at night and distracts us during the day, that's when it becomes a problem. So, if you find yourself overwhelmed with worries like John, take a step back. Identify the worries that you can do something about and let go of the ones that you can't control. By focusing on actionable problems, we can cut our worries in half. Now, let's talk about how to analyze worry. Worry can be a destructive habit if left unchecked. But how do we break this habit? Let's delve into some of the wisdom shared by Dale Carnegie, a renowned self-help author. One of the most effective ways to analyze and manage worry is by getting to the root of it. When we worry, we often focus on the potential negative outcomes or past mistakes, but rarely do we analyze the cause of our fears. Carnegie suggests that we should ask ourselves, what is the worst that can happen? This simple question can help us see our fears in a more realistic light, and often we'll realize that our worries are unfounded or exaggerated. Now let's illustrate this with a story. Imagine someone named Alex, who constantly worried about everything, from his job performance to his personal relationships. It was a debilitating habit that affected his overall quality of life. But then, Alex came across Carnegie's advice and decided to put it into practice. Every time Alex found himself worrying, he would pause and ask, "What is the worst that can happen?" This question forced him to confront his fears head-on. For instance, he worried about losing his job because he felt he wasn't performing well. When he asked himself what the worst-case scenario was, he realized it was indeed losing his job. However, he also realized that he could find another job or maybe even pursue a different career that he was more passionate about. This shift in perspective helped him understand that even if the worst were to happen, he would still be okay. It didn't magically stop his worrying, but it did lessen it significantly. Carnegie's tips are not a quick fix, but rather a process. It's about challenging our thought patterns and replacing them with healthier ones. Implementing these techniques won't result in immediate changes, but with persistence and conscious effort, you'll see a significant reduction in your worry over time. Breaking the worry habit requires conscious effort, but it's entirely possible. Now, let's move on to cultivating a positive mental attitude. Ever wondered how some people seem to be perpetually happy and at peace? They've likely mastered the art of cultivating a mental attitude that fosters peace and happiness. This, my friends, is not a secret, but a skill you can learn. Let's explore the 7 ways to cultivate this mindset, as set forth by none other than Dale Carnegie. Firstly, Carnegie advises us to live in the day-tight compartment. This simply means focus on the present, the here and now. By concentrating on today, we eliminate the worries of yesterday and the anxieties of tomorrow. Remember, we cannot change the past and the future is yet to come. Secondly, adaptability is key. Accept the inevitable and adjust your sails accordingly. Change is the only constant, and how we react to it determines our peace of mind. The third way is to remind yourself of the exorbitant price you can pay for worry in terms of your health. The stress from constant worry can lead to various health issues, an expense no one wants to bear. Fourthly, cooperate with the inevitable. If you find yourself in a situation you cannot change, accept it with grace and move forward. This acceptance is not defeat, but a strategy to keep your peace intact. The fifth way, according to Carnegie, is to count your blessings, not your troubles. A sense of gratitude can shift our focus from what's wrong to what's right, bringing a sense of contentment and happiness. Sixthly, do not imitate others. Be yourself. Comparisons lead to discontentment and envy, robbing us of our peace. Lastly, and most importantly, avoid fatigue. Keep your energy levels up because an exhausted body and mind are more susceptible to worries and less capable of dealing with them effectively. Let's consider the story of John, a man who transformed his life by adopting these practices. Once a chronic worrier, John decided to change his mental attitude. He began to live in the present, accepted changes, considered the cost of worry, cooperated with the inevitable, practiced gratitude, stopped comparing himself to others, and ensured he was never too tired. The result? A happier, peaceful, and worry-free life. A positive mental attitude can be the key to a worry-free life. But let's not stop there. We have a perfect way to conquer worry up next. Conquering worry may seem like a Herculean task, but it doesn't have to be. As we delve deeper into this journey of worry-free living, we look to the wisdom of Dale Carnegie. He offers a unique formula designed to solve worry situations, a blueprint to aid us in our quest to conquer worry. Imagine yourself in the shoes of Sarah, a businesswoman who was plagued by the constant worry of her company's future. Sarah was always anxious about the potential pitfalls and challenges that her business might face. She found herself losing sleep, her mind racing with the what-ifs of tomorrow. This is where Carnegie's formula comes into play. He proposed a 3-step process to tackle worry. The first step involves analyzing the situation fearlessly and honestly, asking yourself, what is the worst that could possibly happen? Sarah took a hard look at her situation and realized that the worst-case scenario would be her business failing and her having to start over. The second step in Carnegie's formula is to reconcile yourself to accept the worst-case scenario if necessary. Sarah understood that even if her business did fail, she could pick herself up, learn from her mistakes, and start anew. Finally, the third step is to calmly devote your energy to improving upon the worst-case scenario that you've mentally agreed to accept. Sarah began to develop contingency plans, sought advice from mentors, and worked on strengthening her business model. By following Carnegie's formula, Sarah managed to conquer her worry. She faced her fears, accepted the worst, and worked to improve the situation. The result? A stronger, more resilient businesswoman with a fortified business model. This formula, simple yet profound, is a tool available to us all. It's an approach that encourages us to face our worries head-on, to accept the worst while striving for the best. It's a testament to the human spirit's ability to adapt, survive, and thrive, even in the face of adversity. Conquering worry is achievable with the right methods. Let's wrap up with how to handle criticism without worry. Criticism, a common source of worry, but should it be? Let's delve into Carnegie's wisdom on this. Picture this. Julia, a talented software developer, finds herself constantly criticized at work. Instead of worrying, she sees it as an opportunity. She takes each piece of criticism, no matter how harsh, as a chance to refine her skills, to improve. Carnegie suggests we should all be a bit more like Julia. Instead of letting criticism cause worry, we should see it as a tool for growth. It's about shifting our perspective, viewing criticism not as a personal attack, but as constructive feedback. This doesn't mean we should accept all criticism blindly. Instead, we should evaluate it, take what is useful, and discard what isn't. Remember, criticism is an external factor. How it affects us is entirely within our control. And that concludes our journey through Carnegie's advice on combating worry. Remember, the power to live a worry-free life lies within you. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on maintaining a worry-free lifestyle. After all, conquering worry isn't a one-time deal, it's a continuous journey. We've discussed several strategies to tackle worry, from understanding its cause and effect, analyzing it, cultivating a mental attitude for peace and happiness, to handling criticism without worry. But how do we maintain this lifestyle? First, remember it's a process. Don't expect to become worry-free overnight, it will take time and practice. Each day make a conscious effort to apply these techniques we've discussed. Second, be patient with yourself. You'll have good days and bad days. On the bad days, remind yourself that it's okay. You're human, and it's a part of the process. Third, surround yourself with positivity. Whether it's positive people, environments, or thoughts, they can greatly influence your worry-free journey. And lastly, always remember, the power to live a worry-free life lies within you. Before we wrap up, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos like this one. Thank you for watching.